Hey, what's the deal? That's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I mean? And this is one out of, this is the second of two videos that I wanted to cover, but of course I never had a chance to do because, it's just been news that's been happening and such, and I've just been, just focused on the news and been pushing this back and stuff, this topic back. You know what I mean? Like I said, my video from earlier today, I wanted to put that out there and stuff, I wanted to put that video out there about the Saudis and such, but this is another video that I wanted to make because, I'm all in for match concepts. Like, I love when promotions come up with different type of match concepts and such, and, I think WWE could benefit, with these match concepts. I mean, granted, they got, they own a lot of different match concepts from WCW, right? They own all of them. All the WCW branded match concepts that they own, that they have, they own. You know what I mean? You see it with War Games and such. And, before then, they were creating more match concepts, but they were creating concepts that were a hybrid of WCW matches. Like the Elimination Chamber, right? We know that the Elimination Chamber is a hybrid of, it's a hybrid of the Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and War Games. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that, and Hell in a Cell, And for a minute, I thought that at that time, that not only was a cool concept, but also it could have been something for later on they did it for tag teams and such, but because of Vince, he did not want to adapt with not only the times, but he didn't want to embrace the true stuff for WCW, which is now what Paul Levesque is doing, like 20 years later. And I'm glad, because there's a lot of cool concepts that WCW had that still works in today's day and age, right? And that that WWE could use. You know what I'm saying? And not only WWE in per se, but also NXT, because NXT, NXT is the brand that basically can come. It comes up with different match concepts now. I mean, remember, they originally had War Games, right? And when Triple H took over and replaced the traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 tag team elimination match with War Games, what Shawn Michaels did was he decided to come up with a new concept called the Iron Survivor match, which is basically, a match that has it has a lot of elements of TNA's King of the Mountain match. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has that. And so, with the penalty box and things like that. And I thought that was cool. And listen, there are matches that WWE could not only take from WCW and bring up in the forefront that could still work in today's day and age, but also with TNA. Because again, they got that working relationship with TNA. And so what they could do is they could bring back some matches, and do like their own version of those matches, put their own spin into those matches, and oh yeah, as I'm recording this, I'm also watching the Giants game and I'm real disappointed. The score right now as of this recording is, because this is actually being recorded on October 15th, 10:41, the score is 10-7. The Bengals is beating them by 3. And also, as I'm turning to the Mets game, the Mets is losing. The Mets is fucking losing. They're losing as of this recording. I mean, they went to commercial. Last time I checked, it was 6-0. The Dodgers are beating them, and I'm real pissed off about that. But anyway, there are some matches that NXT does that they use under the WCW band. Well, under the WCW that they take from WCW and put onto their stuff. I mean, spin the wheel, make the deal. I thought that was a terrific concept that WCW had. And speaking of, spin the wheel, make the deal in War Games, MLW, basically they tried to, copyright, the matches. They put, a trademark, on the matches, and quickly WWE took both of them away, and now, MLW does a War Games type of match, but I think it's one ring. But, spin the wheel, make the deal. That match would on the main roster, that would work perfectly. The Iron Man tournament. Now, the Iron Man tournament, see, a lot of people clamor about the Continental Classic and, the other tournament that WWE had with for NXT. Again, NXT. NXT is like an experimental brand too. I forgot the name of the tournament that they had, but it was a tournament that had a round robin, format. WCW did it the first time, right? WCW did it with a match called the Iron Man tournament. Basically, it had a score system. This was in Starrcade '89. Look it up. You know what I'm saying? And they had a score system. They also did a tag team match with that too. It was a round robin, scoring system match with 4 wrestlers. They can definitely do that. Round robin tournaments can clearly do that. The triple cage match, could that work in WWE? Yes, it can. Remember the triple cage match that they had in the late 2000s when Vince Russo took over, and then also remember it was in the movie Ready to Rumble. You know what I'm saying? I can see WWE, bring that match back. I think that match would work well, in today's day and age, and also the Pittsburgh Plunge scaffold match. Now, see, scaffold matches are a little suspect, because there's really no benefit in scaffold matches. I think scaffold matches are more of a novelty than anything else. But, I think scaffold matches could be used as blow-offs. And look, Hell in a Cell, people climb and, they go up and they fall down and shit like that, But I think with a Pittsburgh Plunge scaffold match, WCW was smart to have cushion on the bottom of the set. They were smart to have that, so a wrestler don't get hurt, and you should look it up. I think it was at a Fall Brawl against Billy Kidman and Shane Douglas. Now, with the TNA side, right? See, this is also another thing that prompted me into want to make this video. Early today, which is Sunday, TNA made an announcement that they were going to bring back Full Metal Mayhem. Now, Full Metal Mayhem is basically TLC, a TLC match with chains as well. Basically, it's a table, ladders, chairs, and chains match. And I think NXT could come up with something that is very similar to that, or if TLC want to come back and throw in another, throw in chains and such, because again, all 3 have a lot to do in common. They're metal, so chains are also metal. Chains are basically also a metal substance. So yeah, I think that will work. Also, Elevation X is basically, it's a scaffold match, but with an X on there. Could that still work in today's day and age for WWE? Yeah, of course. Now I know one match that can clearly work in WWE, for NXT, because again, NXT is also it is an experimental brand as well. Ultimate X, that match was also cool. I think they will do wonders with an Ultimate X type match. Ultimate X is basically, for those that don't know, it's like a scaffold match, but instead of going up a surface, you are basically climbing. You're climbing, to get, you're climbing to get an X in the middle of the ring on top, in the middle of that, of that platform when you climb, right? And of course, you get knocked down, and then you have to get back up so that you can go and grab that X. But people shouldn't stop you from getting that X. You will have people who will try to stop you from getting that X. I thought it was a great concept that back then, and I do think that it could work now, especially now with NXT, you know, and the AAA, NXT and TNA's relationship. I think that will work wonders, you know, and also Steel Asylum. The Steel Asylum match could definitely work too, because the Steel Asylum is basically a cage that has a top with a middle in the top that you have to climb out of. You know, so, you know, picture it like in a small elimination chamber. See, it worked well with the six-sided ring, but you know, could it work it with a four-sided ring? Of course, you know, because again, it is a match where you gotta climb up. You know, you gotta get out the cage. You know, on top. You know, you gotta escape the cage on top. You know what I'm saying? And would that work? You know, for NXT, yes, it could. See. It could be hybrids of it. You know what I'm saying? With the TNA matches, it can be hybrid or a spin on those matches, which I think would be cool. You know what I mean? You let TNA get there. You take bits and pieces from TNA, you know, and make it your own. And I do think it could work in today's WWE landscape. And a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of matches can work in today's day and age in pro wrestling. You know what I mean? You just gotta freshen things up. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe that WWE will make some new match concepts, especially for TNA. You know, I'm still from TNA. For NXT, because again, NXT is not only a developmental brand, but it's also an experimental brand as well. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a cool thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to be out, guys. Oh yeah. Pay-per-views can also work in WWE as well. That's another topic that I probably will cover as well. You know, especially with WCW, because there are a lot, and TNA as well. You know what I mean? So I will catch y'all. You know, I will catch y'all on Tuesday. You know, actually, who knows? Maybe later tonight I might come up with another video, because you know how the news is. The news come up, snap, 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 snap. All right, so I'm gonna catch you on the rebound. Peace.